Okay, Colin's got the first find of the day. She's with the Apex and multi. What do you got?
Nice sound, 75.
Oh, look at that.
It's
a beautiful big brass clock cog.
Like an inch under.
Just under the surface.
Yeah.
So this is an old ghost town we're in here. I'll just show you where she is. This is the main street. What you can see over here is the stone pitch curbing, which I believe was out the front of the old hotel site. There's Georgie out the back there amongst a big heap of bricks. It was once a chimney, I guess. But look at this beautiful old stone pitching in the North Queensland bush amongst the white ants' nests. Beautiful spot and a perfect day for detecting. G'day everyone, it's Warren here from NQ Explorers. We're in a North Queensland silver mining ghost town today. Colleen's here with me and our very good mate George Mayer, late of the famous North Queensland Miners' Den. George is now retired, so we thought we'd come out for a day detecting with him in this old ghost town. It's probably about 5 or 6 years since we've been here. We have found some great discoveries here, coin spells and things in the past. There'll be more out here in the bush. The thing about this town of around 200 people, it was quite spread out. It served a silver mine and a smelter and was here for about 10 years. So I'll tell you a bit more about what happened here in the mid-1890s later on in the video. But for the meantime, let's get onto it. There's George over there working that old brick foundation. There's a bit of a chimney structure. I've just come down the end of the old cobblestones here. I've got an AT Pro today, 5x8 because there's a lot of iron here. I've just got this target, I'll just put it back there again. And I think it's a little lead hem weight. You can see it's a nice 60 signal. Little piece of lead with a hole drilled in the centre. Probably a hem weight for an old skirt. Here's my next target. It's a lovely compact high tone 82 and it's a lovely old brass saddle stud off reins or some sort of saddle tack, horse tack. Nice. Well, this is just iron, of course, but it's a lovely old relic from the 1890s. It's I think it's Sydney, New South Wales. It's a tobacco tin. You can see the Sydney there. Australia, trademark tobacco, some sort of star brand there. Yeah, we've got ourselves a sunbake here. It's this beautiful little delicate 4-hole brass button off a shirt pocket or perhaps some suspenders. Could even be a lady's button, but it's a very small one. Smaller than the normal brass ones we find, which are often marked, you know, best ring edge and that kind of thing. No markings, but some sort of little design on there. Nice one. Just have a look at the effort they've put into interlocking these local bush rocks to making this very civilised footpath here back in the 1890s. Out in what was then the wilderness and now is still very remote. Well, this is home to a lot of people, around 200 people, and quite a few children actually. And men outnumbered the women as usual in these mining towns. They were silver miners. About 100 men, 50 women and 20 or 30 children. There's my next recovery. It's just fallen out of the clump. It's just a little hole here and I'll show you what is adjacent. Beautiful old 1900s brass button. Looks like unbranded also. That's the more normal, larger 4-hole brass shirt button or fly button. And it was right next to this awesome termite mound. There's my detector there for a sense of scale. It's about 5 feet high, this one. And it's not a big one by any means. It's one of the biggest in this little spot, but there's some really big ones further out on the eastern boundaries of the town. Well, you can see Colleen working away over there to my south. She's got a target there, and there's a big, you can see there's a big stone foundation, a chimney base next to her. So it's quite a large extent. It's fairly spread out, as were many of these old mining towns. People just picked a nice spot to set up a house or a little donga, and then close to the pub and the store and the main road's all you had to be. Okay, I've just moved about a metre from that brass button and I've got this awesome looking relic coming out here. Some sort of tiara, look at that. That is an awesome little bit of gear. I don't know if it's a kid's tiara or perhaps a bit of ornate lampware decoration or ceiling rose decoration. Brass, it's been squashed, but it's obviously been a ring at some point. I'll see if there's any branding on that. Well, this one was a shallow recovery in the high 60s. I think it's a buckle, and you can see how it's been folded over probably a bit of fabric belt, perhaps. Could have been a cricket belt, and that could be the end of it. Not really sure. Don't appear to be any markings on it, just 5 rivets there. Okay, Colleen's working over behind the old cobblestone footpath here in the back. Incidentally, there's a look at this beautiful old riveted bucket, which the white ants have taken up in because it's a bit of shelter. But over the back here, amongst the bricks and the lots of iron that we're encountering, Colleen's on apex and multi-frequency. Oh, she's got a hinge off the old, perhaps off the old hotel.
Yeah, it wasn't very far down.
No, it was shallow targets.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was this target ID?
I think it was 75.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Bit of brass.
Yeah.
These are just surface targets. We've got a little horseshoe, part of a yoke of a bullet crate, a Teamster's harness, and here a bottle, or 50% of it, and it's actually got writing on it, but I can't quite make that out. Something Glasgow. Okay, something from far away Scotland. Came here in the 1890s. Look at the thickness of that glass. Actually, that would make a nice little. Should take that home and cut it off and make it into a drinking glass. It's a ripper, actually. Here's my next find. I ventured out onto a bit of a ridge line where there's an old house, and it's a lovely old brass button, and it is marked. I'll subtitle that. I can't quite see it here this morning, but that's marked like it'll be best ring edge or our own make, that kind of thing. Well, the wind's down a bit, so I'll give you a little bit of a tour. That's the old footpath out the front of what we believe is the hotel. There's an old cellar hole out the back here where no doubt they kept the wooden kegs cool in the baking hot tropical summers. Lots of bricks. Some sort of foundation here. Could have been a bakery, a baker's oven. And just scattered with bricks everywhere. So as you can see here, quite a substantial foundation. Could have been a chimney foundation. Definitely a building. That's the main street aspect up in there. And from what I understand, this was a 2-storey hotel with a big veranda out this side on the north. Right over here we've got a little find, and amongst it, it's just absolutely littered with iron, as you'd imagine. So you do need smaller coils. I've got another brass button, and it's also branded like the last one. It's a 2-hole one, this one. And I'll also subtitle that. That was a 62 in amongst all the iron. The little 5x8 has no trouble separating that target from all the rubbish. Okay, Colleen's got a find to report with Apex. What do you got there?
Signal.
Yeah. Is that just sitting on the ground there?
Well, yeah, it's just under the leaf.
Sunbake. Oh, under the leaf letter. That's
Yeah.
a full harmonica reed.
Yeah.
Nice one. It's a big one too.
Yeah,
Could be branded.
I haven't found one for a while, but they make a really nice sound, don't they?
Yeah. Awesome. We just headed over to that old foundation. You can see there's a large rock pile of rocks, which would have been a chimney base, and some bricks scattered about. And I think I can see a bottle on the ground. We'll go and have a look. Well, we just had a cold drink of morning tea. I've just recovered this as my first find after morning tea. It's off a lamp, I'd say, screwed up around a hurricane lamp collar. And in fact, George found one similar to this early on this morning. He showed me at morning tea. So here's the rock foundation. As you can see, a little bit of drinking went on. Champagne style green bottles. All of them complete too. Only very few of them are broken, actually. More down the gully. Oh, here's the actual bottle dump in this little gully, which is where they tend to throw things in the 1800s. The broken ones here. All the same style of old black green glass champagne bottle. The big deep base. So look down the gully. Sort of trails off there. Didn't really actually. So actually, what happened here was this may be a reason why it happened. The poor sanitation. They had a typhoid epidemic here in the mid 1890s, which wiped and killed half the town of around 200 people. There was no hospital. They sent a doctor out here, and he died of typhoid. So there actually is a cemetery here and I've never found it, and it must be reasonably substantial to have at least 100 people buried in it. Typhoid being a sanitation sort of disease and highly infectious, basically wiped out the town. They did recover from it, but it only sort of staggered on another 5 or 6 years, and then it was abandoned, and the silver smelter that was here was moved elsewhere, as they used to do in the 1800s. It was on to the next show. The silver mine wasn't worked out, but was abandoned in about 1898, 1899. So typhoid was what really took the town down. Up in the tropics here, those kind of diseases spread really quickly. And of course, water supply was patchy in the 1800s, and the hygiene not so good. And of course, no medical assistance. Hardy people. Amazing to think this was someone's home once, raising a family out here. And sat like this, idle for more than 120 years now, abandoned. Old bricks there. There's Colleen over there, semi-camouflaged on the ridge line just below the house. Oh, she's on a target there. Look at this weather, what a day to be out in the bush detecting. It's just beautiful. Look at that blue sky. It's early spring. And it's about 29 degrees Celsius. Just a beautiful day to be out. All the finds are just a bonus when you're out in this kind of country. Well, this is a gully I just showed you below that stone foundation. If you have a look over there, I can see a massive barrel hoop, an absolute litany of bottles over there, and a little flat area that was perhaps a house. So we'll just cross this gully and go and investigate that side. So this is what I spotted on the other side of the gully. You see there's a big barrel hoop up there. Lots of broken bottle and ceramic. Of course iron, and it looks like it's been burnt at some point. Whether the building burnt down or just annual bushfires. Champagne bottle up there. More bottles. It's Colleen down there on the bottom of the area with the apex. Spend the next half an hour in this area. Some old brick there too, as you can see, and see what comes up. I'd say the habitation was here. The other side of the gully is where that chimney and rock structure. Perhaps something in here. You can see there's a little bit of a depression there, which could have been an old cellar. Who knows? Have a look at this tree at the back of the bakery or whatever those. You can see the rocks up there, which are believed to be a bakery or an oven of some description. Not sure what it is. It leaves like a poinciana, but I think it is a poinciana actually. The seeds look to be poinciana, but it's an arid environment, so it's shed a lot of its leaves in the heat. Awesome old tree though. Not native to the spot. As you can see, there's been some kind of structure here. Perhaps a fireplace. It looks like the hearth was in this direction here. But what I'd like to show you is this white ants nest. Check it out. This one's a beauty. Of course, they get a lot bigger than this up on the Cape, but this is a decent size. What a beauty. So I'll just detect around here in the next 10 minutes and see if I can find something around this old fireplace. Well, it's been a while between drinks, but it's got a button. Lovely 56 repeatable. Not far from that big white ants nest I just showed you. Is it branded? I think it may be. Yeah, maybe it's got some writing on there. Nice. Here's my next find. I believe it to be a Paris buckle without the prongs. You will say Paris on there. And probably the patent date. Oh, there we go. Paris, there we go. The Paris buckle. Nice. Off a set of suspenders, or braces as we used to call them in Australia. Okay, here's George. We're back at the... It's getting late in the afternoon and we're all a bit warm. We're going to have a hydration session. George got a coin. He claims he has. We haven't seen it yet, but...
Bit of rust.
Oh.
Don't need that thing there. What's happened there?
Here's some of his earlier finds. Let's have a look here. harmonica reeds. We've got a frame of a mantle clock, the buckle of all buckles, probably a belly buckle of a horse. You said one of these was a boomerang Australian harmonica, yeah?
Yep.
Lamp part like I got earlier on, miner's heel. I got one of them up the hill, but I didn't actually film that.
Hang on.
This dollar coin, what's that doing in there?
Doesn't belong there. That's for sure.
Part of a padlock
Yes,
This was a nice find.
and a little threepence.
Got to clean it yet.
Bit of silver. Oh, it's an Edward the 7th, so it'll be
1910.
yeah 1910 or something. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So that sort of just post dates the town. The town was sort of
Yeah.
just about gone at that point.
And that's a good find. I
Yeah,
like
and
that.
and this was we awarded this find of the day at lunchtime. We think it could be saddle brass, but there's some writing on it that George is going to decipher. A little silver and a piece of a pocket watch. Nice. Oh, well, we've had a good day out here, everyone. Good day. Beautiful country. We just met the property owner actually, and he said that he was happy to have us on as long as we notified him, so it's all
That's
good.
nice, isn't it?
Here's the silver George got. It's an English threepence. Edward the 7th, 1902, we think it is. So that's a beautiful bit of old English silver. It's far away land. Actually, he found it quite outside the township on the way up towards the mine, which was an interesting area. We've discovered some new zones in this town, chimneys and old remains of old fireplaces. There's plenty more to discover yet. Okay, everybody, we're about to pack up and head back to town. We've had a really good day here. Everyone's
Fantastic.
George wins find of the day for first and second place. I'm a distant last. I've got a few buttons.
That was good fun.
No, it was good. It was a good day out and it was beautiful
Yeah.
weather. We had a great time.
Fantastic day.
So thanks for watching, everybody, and happy fossicking. Bye for now.